So topic number 3 for Lecturette series. Let's get started. Every 6th person in the entire world is an Indian. In 2022, India overtook China to be the most populous country of the entire world. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are going to discuss about population. More specifically, we are going to discuss, is population a boon or a bane? In order to understand this topic in greater detail, we need to divide the whole topic into 5 parts. Number 1, what are the stages of population growth? Number 2, what is the history of population growth in India? Number 3, what factors make population a boon? Number 4, what factors make population a bane? And finally, we'll end the topic with a conclusion. So in order to understand this whole issue, let's go through the stages of population growth. Now, there are 4 stages of population growth for any country. The first stage is where it is less developed. So as a result, there are no medical facilities, there are no contraceptive facilities. So as a result, there is high birth rate and there is high death rate. So what happens is, a lot of people are born, a lot of people die. So the population remains relatively stable. Next we come to the second stage. So in the second stage, what happens is, the birth rate remains high. However, the country makes slight advancements and developments in the medicine field. As a result, the death rate decreases. So what happens is, this becomes a stage of population growth. Okay, a lot of people are being born, but not a lot of people are dying. Right, so that really gives a jolt to the population. Examples of these countries are such as Afghanistan. One example is Afghanistan, and we have Bangladesh. Next, we move on to the third stage of population growth. So now, in this stage, there is more use of contraceptives. As a result, the birth rate starts falling and the death rate is low. Right? However, the birth rate has not reached the minimum yet. Right? So it is in the stage of decline. So what happens is, the population still keeps on growing, but at a lower rate. So the rate of population growth, it decreases. India falls in this category as of now. Finally, we move on to the fourth stage of population growth. This stage is marked by low birth rate, low death rate, and as a result, the population becomes pretty much stable. The fourth stage is also marked by high economic and social development. The country becomes empowered. The examples of this stage of growth are the EU or the European Union and the United States. Such are the examples. Now, to understand the history of the population growth in India, we move on to the next head. So we'll be starting off with 1891. So from 1891 to 1921, for these 30 years, India was in the first stage of development. High birth rate and high death rate. High death rate, why? Because World War I happened during this period. Right? A lot of famines were there and the medical facilities were not that advanced. Now, we move on to the second stage. From 1921 to 1951, the medical facilities developed slightly. However, during this phase, we also noticed World War II, right? So, it is a phase of steady growth. So, the second stage, or 1921 to 1951, we have a steady growth of population. Now, thereafter, we move on to 1951 to 1981. India got its independence and the policies were being made in favor of the people. There was scientific advancements as well. So this phase is marked by a population boom. India had a population growth rate of about 2.76% or so. So in this period, the population really went off the charts. Now, we come to stage 4, which comes up to the current stage. So from 1981 to 2011, we enter the third stage of development or population growth. So here the birth rate is now on the decline, the death rate is low. So as a result, the population is still increasing but not at a very fast rate. And after 2011, so talking about recent times, in 2022, there was National Family Health Survey 5, which said that India has reached a total fertility rate of 2.1, or it is also called the replacement rate. This is the fertility rate of 2.1 ensures that the population remains stable for any country. 2 people are replaced by 2.1 people. 2.1 why? Because there are a lot of accidents and there are accidental deaths, unnatural deaths. That is why 2 people of the country are being replaced by 2 people. That is, a couple is getting replaced by their children. So this is the total fertility rate situation. Right? Now let's move on to the next part of the video. So how is population a boon? So the first point of view is that it provides higher economic growth. As you might have witnessed that India is home to a huge population, and wherever there is population, there is higher consumption. So as a result, every company, every MNC wants to set up their firm in India. This leads to higher economic growth. Number 2, it can also lead to better human capital, but only if it is managed correctly. So we need to channelize the human capital. If left unchannelized, it might also lead to problems such as civil war, or as we might have seen that in the Red Corridor we have Naxalism and a lot of activity going on, separatist activity, right? So this is the second benefit. There is human capital despite anything where we have capability. Third is we have a higher proportion of working age, because more number of people are in the working age now, so naturally there are less number of people who are dependent on others' income. This takes the country to a stage of production. The production is higher, right? Because there are productive people, so production is higher. Now let's take into consideration the next point of view, or the fourth point of view, which is why is population a bane? While taking into consideration, you might have noticed that whenever we go to, let's say, any public office, so there's always shortage of staff. If you go to any big hospital such as AIIMS, you might see that the workload is so high. So this happens, the clogging up of the state machinery, right? So this is one of the disadvantages. Number 2, it leads to higher competition and unemployment. As you might have noticed that unemployment rate is at all-time high as of now in India. So this happens. And lastly, we have the third point, which is low human capital development, human development factors. If you look at the report of United Nations Human Development Index, India ranks at 131 out of 192 countries. So the living standards such as basic food, clothes, job, health facilities, so these factors are not available to everyone. So there is inequality. This makes population a bane. Now, moving on to the next part of the lecturette now. So in conclusion, what we can say is that higher population has the capacity of both good and bad. However, with the government policies such as Manrega, such as skill development, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, all of these factors, they can be mitigated well. Recently, we have also seen the Jan Arogya Yojana or Jan Awas Yojana. So, all of these schemes are aimed at utilizing the potential of the population of India. So, if managed well, it can turn out to be well. Thank you. Jai Hind. Stay tuned for more videos. Like and subscribe and share with your friends. More videos coming up soon. Jai Hind.